Hey guys! So, in continuation with all of the judgment shit and talks that we've had about the mental health, wellness, spiritual spaces over this past week, I have had so much feedback from you guys because I've asked for it. So, thank you so much. And so, I've even taken some notes on things. I know, right? That's how organized I am today on the things I wanted to touch on that you guys are sharing with me because I want to do all of it justice with the way that we're speaking about it. Now, I've been in the wellness and healthcare space for well over 17 years now. So just a little while. What is this? Oh, well, we roll with it. It's happening. So with saying that, I feel like it's important, as we've been discussing in this whole judgment component, and it seems like it's so pressing, not just with gaining help and seeking help in the wellness space, in the coaching space, in just getting help in general, and even how you feel about navigating things you're experiencing, whether it's in romantic capacity, financial capacity, business, career, family, etc., etc. It doesn't really matter. I'm seeing so many different stories and stuff come to me, and I really want to honor and share some of the things that are really annoying you guys. Now, of course, I knew I would piss some people off by bringing up this topic. Oh well, that's a part of it. And I think it's important to point out that there is a time and a place for the woo-woo language. And even some of my clients that have worked with me know that there's real deep shit that we can get into, and it does sometimes go to woo-woo places. But that's definitely not where you want to start out, and it's definitely not where people want to initially be met when they're dealing with hardship, when they're dealing with tough times, when you're going through things that challenge you to your very core, to your very nature. So while I definitely understand that there's good intention that's coming from some of this language and the way that people are approaching these things, there's a time and a place. And you can grow and evolve as well. So what doesn't feel right now might feel right down the track, but you have to honor where you're at right now. And I think one of the biggest beefs that I've got about it is that coaches, professionals, wellness professionals, healers, whatever label you want to put on whatever you're doing, they want people to meet them where they're at and use all of that beautiful, supposedly inclusive language, but it's really not. It's really exclusive because it's expecting people to come to the expert instead of the expert going to the people. So I actually think that's really backwards. And that's just not, I just don't think that's right. That's just my 2 cents worth. You can like it or not. That's your choice. That's the beauty of free will, right? We get to have a say. So I've been taking some notes as promised to share some of the common things that you guys have been sharing with me, to point out that number one, there's so many of you that are feeling like this. And number two, if we can shine light on where there's darkness and where there are ways that people are being held back from getting coaching, getting support, getting help, then maybe more people will be open to getting help, because there's so much talk about mental health in particular online. But if people don't feel like they're able to talk about it, if they're afraid of being judged, they're never going to get help and support. Reach out. Well, let's address the stuff that's preventing people from reaching out first. That just seems like a logical thing to include. So on this whole judgment piece, here are some of the things that have come into light. So I'm going to honor this with our overcoming adversity chat. No BS. No one wants BS. They want grounded, real world, no holds barred info, support, and chitter chat. And I think that sort of leads into the next part, which is we want the real over the fake. There's so much online in relation to fake. And something that I had multiple people message me about was the instant gratification and vying for attention online. So supposed coaches, supposed professionals that are just posting up something that actually just gets them attention, but they actually have no legitimate follow through and no actual practices on being able to assist people through difficulties. So I think that sometimes the good stuff can be shunned because it's not even really seen because it gets lost. And that sort of ties in with the cutesy la-di-da stuff. And I love how a couple people commented on that. Oh, we don't need any of the fluffy, wanky, the cutesy language. So another aspect in the judgment and the fear of the judgment aspect is being judged for what you're going through because of your job, because of your qualifications, because of the health condition that you're going through, because of the situation you're in, or that the person that you're seeking help with in general might judge you back. And that people are feeling, this is a big one, people are feeling that there's a double standard. There's this whole be your real self, but not like that. That's shit. That's really shit. Because like I always say to everyone, there's no such thing as right and wrong, just right or wrong for each individual, which has sparked some interesting debates online as well, but that's fine. Because what's right for me and the way I live my life might be not at all congruent for yours. So don't let other people tell you what's right for your life. Nobody else has to live with the consequences of what you do or what you don't do. You live your life. Nobody else does. So with the judgment aspect, another thing that came up a lot was feeling like your feelings aren't valid. So there's a fear of putting yourself through more pain by getting assistance because of feeling judged and therefore don't start at all. That's really sad. This was a common one that they're afraid to step out to get help because of the responses that they've had in the past, and they're already in enough pain, they're already in enough discomfort and difficulty. They don't want to add any more to it. And then there's the aspect of professionals that appear to have all of the deep stuff that, and this one ties in with the other one about the vying for attention online, that those that can talk the talk but can't walk the walk. And I get that because that's something that when I'm looking at people that I find inspirational or that I go for help and guidance and support, because I'm human too, is that you don't need people that aren't owning their shit. No one has their shit together, not fully. It's not possible. It's a part of the human condition. But those that actually own where they're at and own that they're working on themselves and that they're not perfect, that's more real, and that actually live their own practices. I think that's another key element with that too. Another big thing that seemed to tie together with the judgment thing is also confidence and judgment tied in together. So scared of being sharing their stories and telling their truth in case it's judged or perceived in a way that is crippling or stifling. And that's also really sad. This whole judgment thing is massive. And I think it's really imperative to keep shining light on that. Because even if we remove the context of language and the judgmental sort of language that I've been talking about, and that aspect of wellness care and coaching, if we look at this judgment piece, I've touched on the key things that I keep hearing repeatedly from you guys for the past week, because I want to make sure that I'm honoring all of you where you're at. But I want to hear more. What's missing for you? If we shine a light on judgment and confidence and all of the aspects that I've just briefly touched on here today, what's missing? Let me know. Comment in and DM, because I want to make sure we get the totality of this judgment piece before I move into other phases of this whole stepping into helping yourself to go wherever you'd like to go in life.